Now we're going to have a look at the 305 on Wednesday at the Cheltenham Festival. The Queen Mother Champion Chase, 2 mile, Grade 1, Class 1, 5-year-olds and upwards, chasing £168,810. Now usually at Cheltenham I'm looking to oppose short price favourites, but in this instance the 4 to 5 about Chacun pour Soi of Willie Mullins is a perfectly acceptable price. There's loads of negatives about his market rivals and I think he'll take an awful lot of beating. He looks like one of the bankers of the week. Now he's run 8 times over fences, winning 6 of them. His only defeat came at Leopardstone back on the 27th of December 2019 when beaten by A+ Tard, who I'm very keen on for the Gold Cup later in the week. He's won 4 times since. He returned from 309 days off to win easily at Cork at 5 to 1 on. Then he routed Notebook at Leopardstown at 7 to 4 on, and then back at Leopardstown on the 6th of February he was very impressive in beating Fakur Dudurez 5 to 2 on that day under Town. And if you watch the run back, he cruised round on the bridle and sauntered away between the last 2. It was a very impressive performance. He goes particularly well on soft ground, but I suspect he's going to be equally effective on good ground, the way he travels, and that he also beat Defi de Sur back in May 2019 on ground that was fast at Punchestown, so there's no problem at all if it completely dries out. He's a strong traveller with a smart turn of foot. The lack of Cheltenham experience perhaps the only thing you could crab him with, but in terms of pure form he's 5 to 4 on, and I think that's an extremely fair price. The second in at the moment with Bet365 is Altior, an 11-year-old now, old enough to smoke, 15 wins from 17 runs over fences, but I fear we've seen the best of him. He had a race at Ascot on the 23rd of November 2019 against Surname that bottomed him out on bad ground, and he's not been the same horse since. He was under pressure a long way out when winning a Grade 2 at Newbury in February. He returned from 323 days off. The vibes were pretty good. He was fit and well before his Kempton return in the Grade 2 Desert Orchid Chase, but he never went a yard there. He was only beaten 3.5 lengths by Noob Nebra. He watched the run back. He was laboured and going nowhere for most of the race there, jumping stickily as well. Not for me at all, aged 11. I don't fancy him at all, particularly on drying ground. I think he's probably ready for retirement. The main danger could come from Noob Negra. The Dan Skelton yard absolutely flying in the run up to Cheltenham. All of his horses are running well. This one, it needs good ground. They did think he needs a flat track, and perhaps that is still true. He might be more one for Aintree than Cheltenham, but he's a smooth traveller with a smart turn of foot. He did not come off the bridle to beat Altior at Kempton over Christmas. He's been kept fresh for this race since, but I do have my doubts what that form is worth. To be absolutely truthful, Altior never went a yard, and whether Noob Negra is really a Cheltenham horse up the hill, I have my doubts. I suspect Chacun pour Soi will be much too strong. Last year's winner, Politologue, another veteran, not getting any younger. He's a 10-year-old now. Nichols, again, a yard absolutely flying. He's got a brilliant record over fences, 10 wins from 22 runs. He made all the running to win this race last year, but that was a race where the odds-on favourite Defi de Sur was beaten at halfway, never went a yard, and to be honest, beating Dynamite $9.5 lengths, it doesn't read too well. Afterwards he returned as good as ever to win the Tingle Creek at Sandown from green a turn, but again the runner-up's not done much for the form, and I thought he was a little bit disappointing when beaten 7 lengths by First Flow at Ascot, the pair of them going hammer and tongs, but there was no excuse. Politologue probably slightly powers on the wane, and this is a much better renewal. I will be stunned if he is good enough. They're the front ones. I think Chacun pour Soi looks like one of the bankers of the week.